Now, that is a really impressive start to the ODI series against England from India. This is looked at as a build-up in preparation for the Champions Trophy, and we will unpack all the big talking points from that first ODI in Nagpur with Sanjay Manjrekar on ESPNcricinfo Matchday. Let's get into it, Sanjay. And at the end of it, it seems easy and comprehensive. But if we have to look at the key players that made this stand out, let's start with Shreyas Iyer, shall we? Because that was the innings after India won a spot of bother that I'm sure you'd like to talk about first.
Typical Indian cricket follower, you're Raunak, talking about the batter first. What about the great job the bowlers did in the first half? But on a serious note, quite right, because that innings just blew my mind away. Um, I know it was just 59 runs that he got, but I don't think he would have played an innings of this kind where he didn't put a foot wrong. It was just an amazing innings where, one, it was flawless stroke play. There wasn't kind of, just slogging that you sometimes see in white ball cricket. These were all proper cricketing shots. There was the nice drive of the front foot. There was a pull. There was a reverse sweep. There was a ram shot. Terrific innings, and that just settled whatever little nerves India would have had after the dismissal of Rohit Sharma. But the real work, I thought, was done by the bowlers.
Right, I'm going to come to the bowlers, but if we just stick to the impressive innings from Shreyas Iyer, and I'd say important innings too, Sanjay, given where he finds himself, what's happened in these past few months. England tried to attack him with a short ball, which continues to be a conversation around Shreyas. Can we now say he's found a competent, effective way to deal with it in this format?
It's very interesting. Actually, there was a period in Suresh Raina's career when bowlers thought he was vulnerable against the short ball, and they bowled a lot of bounces to him. And there came a time when the highest percentage of runs that he scored in his one-day career was off the pull shot or the hook shot. So that happens. But what was really heartening to see, Ronak, was that he was playing the pull shot well, but it wasn't like he was taking a chance with the pull shot, which sometimes he saw with Shreyas Iyer that he was just taking on. It was a little bit of bravado involved, and it was like a counter attack out of being slightly uncomfortable. But today, I don't know whether the time that he spent out playing first class cricket, but his technique of the back foot has got really good. If you remember the Shreyas Iyer and the weakness that he had was he has this big trigger movement, and then he would square himself up and then get into a very awkward position. He was side on right through when he was playing all those shots, and just looked very good in the way he played the pull shot. It didn't seem like it was played in desperation or to put the bowler off. It was just complete control and command over the short ball.
It was a spot of bother that India were in. And Shreyas Iyer led a counter-attack. Shubman Gill at the time played second fiddle and then took responsibility of the chase. India missed their number 3 batter. Shubman batted at 3, and it's an important innings for Gill himself with all the conversations that go around some key players in this team. What stood out for Gill's innings from you, Sanjay?
Shreyas Iyer, obviously, in that partnership, took your breath away with the kind of innings that he played, but he got out on 59. With Shubman Gill, who's still a very young player, you get this assurance that he's going to be there for the long haul. And every time you see him, whichever format, I know he had a tough time in Australia, but when you see Shubman Gill bat, even in the IPL, T20 cricket, or 50 overs cricket, or even Test cricket, you just get the impression that this guy is there as a player that India can rely on for more than 10 years, 15 years. We had a term during our playing days where we found if we saw young talent really, show some qualities, then we would call him the Lambi Race Ka Ghoda, as in somebody who will, play for more than 10 years for India. And Shubman Gill. With Suresh Iyer, you saw some sparkling stroke play. With Shubman Gill, you again got that reconfirmation of the kind of ability that he has, that he is not going to be somebody who will just, mesmerize the world for a few years and disappear. He's going to be there for the long haul.
All right. Now, as you rightly have pointed out, let's move to the bowlers. But how about we squeeze in the all-rounders in the middle? Axar Patel got runs. Axar Patel did his job with the bat. The fact that he could also fit into a team with Ravindra Jadeja, something you have said on our network before, and then we'll get into the bowling. But what does it tell us about how India perhaps might want to approach the balance of their team in this series and the Champions Trophy?
Before the match, started, and when I picked my playing 11, there was a suggestion from me that maybe Rishabh Pant could be tried, only with the Champions Trophy in mind. Plus, India would have a left-hander in the top 6 or 7. Now, Axar Patel is a great option to have because this is a guy we've seen bat in test matches for India, and he has a batter's temperament. And I thought that was a really smart move to have him bat up the order, as in a pure batter's position ahead of Jadeja. And boy, he looked good against spinners. Now, India have had a problem in the middle overs where they've struggled to find batters who are really competent against spin. Now, Akshar Patel, and because this Champions Trophy is going to be played in our part of the world, there's going to be a lot of spin impact on the games. Akshar Patel is a terrific, option to have in the middle, thereby perhaps delaying Rishabh Pant's, chances of coming back in because now they've found a left-hander that they can bat in the middle if there's a leg spinner who's bowling well or somebody like we saw today, a left arm spinner coming in.
I mean, the timing of performance is so key in Indian cricket ahead of a major ICC event. Let's now focus on the bowlers who did set up this win, like you said in your opening comments, Sanjay. And let's start with the seamers. We were all waiting to see how Mohammad Shami goes in a 10-over spell or in 50 overs cricket, especially in the absence of Bumrah. How did that go? And how about the debutant who partnered him, Harshit Rana? Liked what you saw?
Yes, and I've said this before as well, Mohammad Shami, the way India have slowly sort of got him into the scheme of things, had him in the T20 series, but didn't play him straight away. But now you could see that he's coming to full fitness. That last spell, with Shami, the engine takes a little, time to get warmed up. And when he was running in and bowling that last spell in that innings, that run up and everything just gave you the impression that he's back at his best. So that's a great sign. And come the big stage, you'll see Shami pull off, those kind of performances that we saw in the 50 overs World Cup. Fitness was the only issue, and when he ran it in that last spell, that was great news for India. So hopefully Bumrah recovers, but Shami is looking good, which is great news. But Harshit Rana is interesting, Ronak, because he was the most expensive Indian bowler by far. And I've said this before as well. There was a time when Ashwin and Jadeja were India spinners. In the Champions Trophy, their reign actually ended in the 2017 Champions Trophy, where they were economical but not getting wickets. You can see what happens when a bowler gets wickets. Most expensive bowler, but he got three massive wickets for his side. And India was in a winning position at the halfway stage, thanks to Harshit Rana.
A number of us felt like maybe Arshdeep's the front runner to get into the ODI team and get him running and ready for the Champions Trophy. Harshit's had a good performance. You're impressed by him. Do you see Arshdeep playing in this series? Is Harshit going to make a bit of a case now for a last-minute entry into the Champions Trophy as well?
See, if he continues in this fashion, I mean, if he see what was admirable about Harshit Rana is even when he came in as a concussion sub, you could see how ready he was, wasn't he? I mean, he just came in. I'm sure he must have got a very late call to go and bowl and be in the playing 11. It's a tough one, when you have a concussion sub. But the way he came out, and the kind of spirit that he showed, and that's the thing to like about him. He could be a bowler who will make things happen, and India need bowlers who will get you wickets in the middle. That's the reason maybe Varun Chakraborty has been brought in. But because Harshit Rana got three wickets, normally that job belongs to Kuldeep Yadav. India was just in a great position because they had a good opening start, and then England lost their way because of Harshit Rana getting those wickets. And a couple of those wickets were actually, he created those wickets by using the short ball. So somebody who wants to go out there and make a difference. And that's a handy seamer to have because Hardik Pandya will always be your economical bowler. Shami will be a go-to bowler. But if you don't have a wicket-taking spinner, and with Jadeja and Akshar Patel, you have more economy. Then along with Kuldeep Yadav, you have a seamer now who's, like in the T20 game as well. I mean, you got three wickets there, isn't it? And three today. So those are, great signs and great options for India.
Right. Last question on performance from the first ODI before we look ahead. The old warhorse, Ravindra Jadeja. We talk about Rohit and Kohli returning to this format. Jadeja had also announced his retirement from T20Is. He comes in and just carries on like a machine.
Absolutely. And that's the thing to like about him. He's a machine. It's just amazing. Like Jadeja, the first, part of Jadeja, of his long career. And this Jadeja, you won't find any difference in the way he's bowled. He's bowled in exactly the same fashion right through his long career. whether it's test matches or T20 cricket or 50 overs cricket, and got a crucial wicket today for India. So he's somebody who will come in and bowl like he's always done. He's never gone beyond, what his core game is. And, I think with the way he bowled today, those are again great signs. You see Jadeja when he's in a good mood or where he's confident, where he hardly sort of runs in. He's very keen to bowl, his overs quickly. But you can see it was just about trotting in and landing the ball in. So I think fitness-wise as well is looking pretty good. So a lot of good signs for India today.
Let's look ahead to the second ODI on Sunday. Let's talk about England as well in that context, whether there's something they can learn from Nagpur on what might or might not work if they are to try and level the series.
See, you saw two batters, Phil Salt set and Ben Duckett set, and India was struggling. And you're wondering whether 300 was a possibility. And then obviously there was that run out. Ben Duckett played an attacking shot, got out. Barring Joe Root, most of the other batters got out playing attacking shot. This is not T20 cricket, but this is the template that England plays with. I remember Australia when they had come in 2011 to 10, that great series where we had that. Harbhajan Singh getting those wickets, Eden Gardens, Dravid Lakshman show. Eventually, at the end of the series, and there was a one-day, series that followed, Australia also had to change their, approach because Australia at that time had a great ability and they were at the top of their, all-round cricket, and attack was the way to play. But they realized on Indian pitches and with some quality spinners making their lives a little difficult, they embraced they were humble enough to embrace the reality that we can't keep playing the same fashion and keep losing. So somewhere, I can understand you have a template. Maybe they'll try it for another game, but if it's not working, it certainly didn't work in the T20 series. Sometimes it's just space to be pragmatic.
And as we just look at that second ODI, with every innings that he doesn't get a score, there is going to be a conversation or a concern in the minds of the fans on Rohit Sharma. Sanjay, anything to say?
Yes, he'll be disappointed with the way he got out. Clearly, there's pressure. And if in 50 overs cricket he struggles to get runs or get a big score, then you have a problem because I maintain that this is the best format for any batter if you're batting in the top three to get runs and come back into form. And if this three-match series and the Champions Trophy doesn't, we don't get to see the best of Rohit Sharma, then there is a problem.
Right, Sanjay. Let's pick this up after the second ODI. Many thanks to you
Thank
for
you.
your time and your thoughts. We will, of course, have
Thank
more
you.
from Sanjay Manjrekar as this series goes on ESPN Cricinfo Matchday.